We are live for another episode of Deep Dive, and it is just fitting as we are deep now into this Royal Rumble week to talk about the past 6 years that we have been spoiled with some amazing 30 women Royal Rumble matches. We had to discuss the surprise entrance that we cannot forget from this history of Royal Rumble matches from the women. Some surprises that we could have never hoped for, but we actually got that over these past few years, and some things that we thought could have improved from some memories from the women's Royal Rumble matches. All those things are coming up, so stay tuned.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Welcome back, guys, to Deep Dive, and this is one of my favorite times of the year. It is Royal Rumble season, and we know all of the amazing things that can happen throughout this year, all the anticipation about what will happen, what might let us down because we have our hopes up to all those different things that can go into this week, how we are deep into the road of WrestleMania, and how much can be determined in the Royal Rumble to decide for us if we're feeling like the WrestleMania of this year is going to be a thrill or if it's going to be a dud. But I think especially with the way that WWE has been cooking up this year, and even Raw's go home show from last night was absolutely amazing. I mean, who could not talk about that amazing encounter and promo work from Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, as they're really making us feel excited about this men's Royal Rumble, and the many women that have really been stepping up their game, as everyone wants to make sure that they have some type of footing at WrestleMania. The competition, the passion is at an all-time high. So I thought it would be fitting that we just have to talk about so far, because it's really funny how quickly time flies and how much the rosters change. But we have had 6 years of the 30 women's Royal Rumble matches, and it really goes to show, really, when you look back before the time that we've had after this women's revolution, how much we would just get little samples and teasers of what it would have been like to have certain women actually compete in a full-on Rumble. And now we have that, and a lot of wishes have been fulfilled in this short amount of time that we've seen women's Royal Rumble matches. Still things that we hope to see in the future with these matches, but a lot of history packed into these past 6 years with these matches. And I just want to really dive in and start out from 2018 with this first women's Royal Rumble. The anticipation was high. We were riding off of having the Mae Young Classics that just truly put a spotlight to what women could do in WWE, to really have, on the main roster in particular, to really have a very meaty and solid, diverse women's roster. And at that point, all of the demands to have more from women in WWE kept coming, and we kept getting things that fans like me wanted for a long time in WWE, having all women shows. And then, of course, as we continue to see this women revolution in 2015, 16, 17, it just really made us feel like you have to add in that all women's Royal Rumble match to just make it fair, because we are demanding to see all these women be included on the show in that capacity. In 2018, we got our wish. And I'm going to say, especially after looking back, because I've actually only watched this match once. Of course, there are times where you see clips of certain entrants that surprise entrants that of people that we didn't know would come back. I've gotten that over the past few years, but I haven't really sat down to watch this in its entirety since 2018. And going back, I will say that WWE did a stand-up job of really taking a lot of care into how they were going to showcase this first Women's Royal Rumble, and I certainly didn't think that they disappointed. So let's just get right into it. You have Sasha Banks as the first entrant into the inaugural Royal Rumble match. And the SmackDown and Raw's Women's Champions, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, were at ringside to see this monumental occasion. And you can see, even with their antennas up for who might possibly win, and being on the lookout for that they were genuinely excited to be a part of this, to see it up close and personal, to see these women actually be able to tear it up in the ring with this first Royal Rumble. And I wonder if there was, a slight bit of jealousy, in a natural competitive way, that probably Charlotte and Alexa Bliss really wanted to possibly be in the ring for that match. And we have Stephanie McMahon on commentary, really trying to make sure that they're honing in on having a female voice on commentary that, of course, is completely embedded in the fabric and the brand of WWE, and has seen all of the different ebbs and flows of the women's roster, and really can genuinely speak from a place of possibly wanting these changes and finally seeing those things happen and seeing these women be able to flourish. And it really seemed like there was a genuine happiness from Stephanie to be able to be at ringside and call this match. And we have Becky Lynch come in second, and already you could feel the anticipation for this match, and these women did not disappoint. But I love how, even with the excitement, they made sure that they constantly kept their mind on the prize, which was to be able to go to WrestleMania. So you see these women immediately go from feeling the nostalgia, feeling like this was such a pivotal moment and what they wanted with the women's roster, but then immediately making sure that they're thinking about their solo ambitions with getting to WrestleMania. And just to point out some highlights, because there are so many in this 2008 Women's Royal Rumble match, was definitely really quickly out of the gate having Lita be a part of this and come out and really kick ass in this match. It was really amazing to see. That was definitely one on the bucket list of I'm pretty sure, a slew of long list of women that a lot of fans wanted to see come into this match. Lita was definitely high up on the list, and we actually got that request, and it was just amazing because you could see how excited Lita was to be a part of this. And she definitely did not skimp on the cardio, because she was hanging with these ladies 100%. And it was really cool to see, because I'm pretty sure there were probably years and years of Lita being in WWE at a completely different time, and possibly wanting to know what it would have been like to have an all-women's Royal Rumble match, and getting that, and still really being in her prime in this match. So that was a really cool thing to check off the list, as someone that was a uber fan of Lita growing up and would have loved to have seen her in those matches early on in her career. We have Kairi Sane come in and really mop up the ring with a lot of women. She had such an impressive showing in this match. And I loved all of Kairi Sane's appearances, as I would go more into that with the other Rumble matches. But I think that she really just came off hot after being NXT, and really coming onto this main roster as someone that clearly was going to be a main eventer on the main roster. And it was really cool to see her have such a great showing. Tori Wilson was someone that made a comeback in this Royal Rumble as the 9th entrant. And it was really cool to see possibly Tori feel like, with all of the things that surround the Divas era, and a lot of women feeling that that they didn't get that recognition because of how tainted that time is, when you think about how the women were used, that many times, I'm sure, and think this it's been said by Tori Wilson herself in interviews that there were times that she was very embarrassed by certain things that she did. She wanted to prove that she was solid in the ring. And I think that with these many appearances that Tori has been making over the past few years, she's been able to prove that and get that respect and genuine excitement that fans had with seeing her again. Throughout this Rumble, we also see the surprise return of one of my favorites, Molly Holly, who was on my list of someone that I really wanted to see come back, because even though Molly Holly was in a great time to show women's wrestling when they were getting opportunities to really show how great of wrestlers they were and to get some solid storylines, Molly Holly many times was brought up, but not usually brought back before this Royal Rumble appearance. So it was really good to see that, because a lot of women fans of wrestling were starting to bring her name up again as someone that they would like to see, you know, where is she now? How does she feel about her time in WWE? Would she like to get back in the ring? They actually got that wish during this Rumble. So that just made me feel so happy. And she definitely held her own in this match and just looked like $1,000,000. So this was hands down one of my favorite entrance into this Royal Rumble was Molly Holly. She was definitely one of my favorites during the golden era in WWE. And it was really cool to see Molly Holly and Sasha have their moment during the Rumble. And I'm pretty sure behind the scenes, Sasha was just like a kid in a candy store having all these different interactions with a lot of legends that came into this match. We have Lana coming out and she's triggering the Rusev Day chants, which was just hilarious. And it was just like a nice spot in the match to really just have Rusev have that moment. And it's so wild to go back and look at how much pull with the fans Rusev had. He was really over with the fans at this time. And it just really makes me feel like, what if they would have fully pushed Rusev, because he was just so over in WWE. It was absolutely amazing. It was just good times with seeing Rusev get that love from the fans. We have Michelle McCool come into this match as well as a number 10th entrant. And that was very surprising to me because I wasn't really sure. And sometimes with a lot of women that were in WWE during the golden era of WWE or during the Divas era, sometimes you don't know behind the scenes like how happy they were with their exit or how disgruntled, or if they weren't, with their character at the time of them leaving or retiring. So you don't really know if they want to step foot back in the ring. But Michelle McCool did, and she really continued to show how freaking athletic she is and how she hadn't skipped a beat. She eliminated Sonya Deville, Liv Morgan, Molly Holly, and Lana in a matter of seconds. So that was just, I would say, probably one of the best showings in this Royal Rumble was from Michelle McCool. She really just looks fantastic in this match. We also have the return of Vicky Guerrero. And I love how with such a long match like the Royal Rumble, you have to make sure that you're having those moments where you're bringing in a bit of comedy to help bring down the intensity for a little bit, to let the other women get a moment to breathe. And Vicky Guerrero certainly did that. And of course, everyone knew that she was going to be quickly eliminated, but it still gave us a moment to kind of think about how freaking annoying Vicky Guerrero's character was, but to just have a laugh at it, get a little bit of comedy in there, and then get back to the action. And we have Kelly Kelly come into this match. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Kelly Kelly, I think they even said it on commentary that Kelly Kelly is someone that Naomi was really inspired by. So it was pretty cool seeing her come in and have her moment. And someone too who probably did, as she got into the business, had a passion for wrestling, but many times didn't have the time in the ring with the length of the matches or the the support to really push herself athletically in the ring. But in every Royal Rumble that she was in, I was very impressed actually with Kelly, and this is one of them. We have Naomi come in, and she just brings so much energy into the match, which is needed once you get to the middle, where it can be really challenging for people that have been in the match for a while to keep up the momentum. And Naomi is just showing how she was going to add um, really what you see Kofi Kingston bring with all of the athleticism that can allow her to come back into the ring after being thrown out, but technically not eliminated, and just create these death-defying ways to get back into the ring that usually has the fans on their toes. So it was really cool to see with this first Royal Rumble, or Women's Royal Rumble, that they were already showing that Naomi was going to do that for the women's division, with really showing each year how creative she could be with getting back in the ring. So that was pretty funny to see. We have someone that was definitely on my list as someone that just had to be in this first Royal Rumble for the women, and that was Jacqueline, who came in at 13, and I was so hyped, almost fell out of my seat. I remember exactly how I felt when I saw Jacqueline come into this inaugural Royal Rumble. You can genuinely see how excited she was as to be a part of this. But just like Jacqueline always is, she immediately comes into this match and she actually goes right for Sasha Banks. And although this was something that like Sasha made sure of, but she was always in the vision of whatever legend came into the ring, and she was always there to take the brunt of their moves and have that interaction with them. So I thought that that was really cool that she always had those moments with legends like Jacqueline throughout this Rumble. So that was really cool. After that, we see Nia Jax come in, and she completely clears out the ring, just truly coming in as a wrecking ball, which was cool to see and really added like a cool element to it, because you need that in the middle. You need somebody to just help to clear up the numbers. So we start bringing those numbers down. And Nia Jax has been known for being someone that was used for that in these Royal Rumble matches. We have Ember Moon get a really huge pop when she comes in as NXT champion. And she was injured at that, but really just looked like she was coming in for war. And that was a really impressive feat for her to come in that way while being injured, but felt like she could not miss this opportunity to be a part of this inaugural Royal Rumble. We have Beth Phoenix come in at 24, and this was another one that I thought, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I would love to see Beth Phoenix get that just due. We know in Beth Phoenix's history that she was able to be a part of the Men's Royal Rumble, but of course, someone that can really last and really has the endurance to make it through an entire Royal Rumble. It was very apropos to make sure that Beth Phoenix actually had the opportunity to be a part of a full-on Royal Rumble and show what she can do with these women. So this was really exciting to see, and Beth definitely deserved it with everything that she put in at the time when she was initially in WWE, to see a lot of advancement for women in the company. We have Asuka come in as the 25th entrant, and Ember Moon and Asuka were able to revisit their amazing feud that they had in NXT. So that was a really cool spot. We have Nikki and Brie Bella that come in, and they just got a huge pop when they came for their return, and that was really cool to see, because Nikki and Brie Bella did make sure that they utilized their platform to really push for a lot of change in WWE. So for them to be a part of it just absolutely makes sense, and it was a great showing for both ladies. And as we got closer and closer to 30, we did not know if there was a possibility for someone that obviously was a megastar in WWE on the women's roster to be able to be a part of this. But as we got to 30, we were able to see, the showcase, of course, Naomi's amazing aerial feats to get back into the ring. We had Trish Stratus come in at number 30, and you could barely hear anything at that point because the crowd was just going wild. I don't really think you could have had the inaugural Royal Rumble without having Trish be a part of this. And I love when you see Trish and it kind of pans back to the ring. You see that the Bellas are looking like sharks, ready to attack when they saw Trish. And we have, I would dare to say, one of the memories that usually pops into people's heads when they think about this Royal Rumble is the interaction and that stare off between Mickie James and Trish Stratus as they are having that moment to let the fans let them know that they did not forget about their amazing feud that they had back in the 2000s, and how they were ready to see that again. They could have relived that in that ring at that night, and you can genuinely see how thrown off, how they're still trying to be in character, but how thrown off they were with that huge ovation of the fans really getting excited to see if they were going to relive that feud. So that, to me, will probably always be a highlight when you think of the Women's Royal Rumble, of seeing that interaction and just like the goosebumps that they must have gotten with seeing how much the fans loved their feud and how much it still resonates between different generations of women's wrestling fans in WWE. So that was really cool. And then you see Sasha Banks and Trish getting their moment in the match to not just stare off, but have a moment where Sasha is kind of making it clear, you know, she's one of the big dogs now on this roster, and she's not just going to let Trish think that she's stealing the show. And I just love how bold and confident Sasha Banks was with interacting with Trish Stratus. It was a really cool moment. I would personally love to see that again, but you know, one can wish. And we have ultimately our winner for this was Asuka, and I was very excited for this. I thought that it went to the right woman for this particular year. I think the only thing that still just gets under my gears is how that moment for Asuka, in my opinion, was a bit tainted because of Asuka having the moment where she has both Alexa Bliss and Charlotte in the ring, and she's kind of toying with who she's actually going to pick to face at WrestleMania. And then we have Ronda Rousey come out, and it wasn't obviously any offense to Ronda, but I felt like maybe it should have been a different time, and possibly in the Rumble, the Women's Rumble match, or maybe right when we're leading into the match, that Ronda should have come out, because it really took away from Asuka being able to bask in this victory that was not easy at all. I think that they should have let Ronda come back for the Rumble because it is a huge deal, but possibly timed it better due to the fact that anyone who is able to endure that type of Rumble should be able to fully feel like they can embrace that win. So that's really the only gripe that I had with this match. I think that the timing of when every woman came out was just absolutely perfect. I love how they used this Rumble, this first Women's Rumble, to really play on the nostalgia of women who definitely deserve to have their moment again in the sun, while also making sure that they spent a significant amount of time really showcasing the women that were making up the rosters for NXT, for Raw, and for SmackDown, and really making sure that they got that time, and then blending these different generations together with these awesome interactions that you had with each woman. So kudos to everyone that was a part of this inaugural Royal Rumble, including everyone that was working on it in the back. And I just love this picture of all of the women that were a part of this first Women's Royal Rumble. And I remember all of the behind the scenes footage that they would have on WWE Network afterwards that allowed the fans to be able to see the behind the scenes things like how nervous someone were, how excited they were, how emotional they were later on with, having their mind blown, but the fact that they actually pulled off such an amazing Royal Rumble. So kudos to everyone that was involved in that. So we're going to get right into the 2019 Royal Rumble match. So now we have that first year down. Now you really see with this one that we're really focusing on showcasing the talent of the women from each roster, and more so focusing on that than really trying to bring people from the past. They're sprinkled in a bit, but not as much as last year. And we have Lacey Evans start off this Royal Rumble match with Natalya. We have Beth Phoenix and Renee on commentary. And I must say, I love how this match started off with Billie Kay not getting in the ring initially, and she's making it clear that she's not going into that ring until her tag partner, Peyton Royce, comes out. And I must say, going back and seeing this, I miss Billie Kay and Peyton Royce so much on WWE TV. I honestly do. I felt like they brought a lot, not just with how thrilling and just comedic their characters were, but they were some damn good wrestlers, and I really missed them. So, who knows what could happen over the next few years? A lot of people have been returning, so you never know. But they were truly, the Iconics were something that was really great on the roster. We have Nikki Cross come in like she's the Tasmanian Devil, like usual, and she really pumps up the crowd for this match. I love when Xia Li came into this match because she delivered such deadly blows, and she even got into it with Tamina and held her own, and that is definitely not an easy feat. So that was really cool to see. We see Kairi Sane come into this Rumble again as a very strong competitor, and she immediately challenges Charlotte Flair. So that was really cool to see that she had no inkling to not immediately go for one of the strongest competitors that was going to be in this match. We have Naomi have another awesome moment with getting back into the ring, even utilizing the Spanish announce table. So that was really funny. And the fans were completely here with her on that. And I liked that fan interaction that she had while she was trying to devise a plan on how to get back in the ring. And we have Alicia Fox and Maria Kanellis make an alliance that quickly was tarnished the moment that Maria felt like possibly this was taking too much of her time with trying to get to WrestleMania on her own. We have Casey Catanzaro have an impressive Rumble appearance. And you kind of see with this year of Royal Rumble that Naomi and Casey are kind of making sure that they're doing these dare-defying moves. I would say kind of with Casey, she was trying to show throughout the match that she was a high flyer, and she wanted to really dazzle in this match with that ability to do that. So I thought that was pretty cool. We see in this match, one of the things that's lingering is if Beth Phoenix is going to be, if Becky Lynch is going to be in the match or not. So that's still rumbling throughout the entire, no pun intended, Rumble, if Becky is actually going to be a part of the match. So I love how you have that tension about is she going to be it? Is she not? One person I also want to highlight again, is Io Shirai's first Rumble appearance, and she just looks like $1,000,000 in this match. She is immediately taken to the sky to help take out the Riot Squad, and I love how she's just fresh off of an amazing NXT run and really showing how she's going to be a threat on the main roster. And we see Bayley get a great pop as she comes in as the 27th entrant. We see that Carmella is the last woman to come into this match for the night. And then, of course, we know that Becky was able to come into this match because she took the place of Lana, who was attacked. and she goes toe to toe with Charlotte, to the admiration and cheers of the fans, who completely became unglued when they knew that they were going to get their girl Becky, who had such a phenomenal year in 2019, in this actual Royal Rumble match, which was, I think, everyone's wish. So that was awesome. And we see that Becky eliminates Charlotte, and she is able to go to the Royal Rumble. And this was just an awesome moment, really. I think, just like I said, I like how they slightly pivoted from 2019 to make sure that they were really helping to get a lot of women over that were already on these rosters, from NXT, Raw, or SmackDown, and then really giving the fans what they wanted, with seeing Becky Lynch be able to win the Royal Rumble and not have us go into a WrestleMania where we already really wanted a particular wrestler to get that main event spot, and or at least be able to challenge for the title, but we don't get that for some weird reason. I like how we were starting to come into the years where people that um, were really pushed by the fans were actually getting those opportunities. And I would say that the 2019 Women's Rumble definitely is a prime example of that. This was a match that everyone was pleased with, and really got that outcome that they wanted. Becky worked her butt off this year, as she does every year, but she really worked her butt off that year to make her one of the hottest things in WWE at that time, and it actually paid off for her. So that was great to see. We're going to move on to the 2020 Royal Rumble, and we have Alexa Bliss come in as the first entrant. We have Bianca Belair come in second. And this is deep into the Bianca years in NXT, where she was just running amok and showing how dominant she was going to be. And this was her first Royal Rumble appearance. And she was already a fan favorite coming into this. So that just goes to show how strong that NXT fandom was for people, and how they were really tuning in, even if they were big fans of the main roster, to really see who were going to be those up and coming stars and on the main roster soon. And Bianca certainly proved that. We have, as one of the first entrants, Mighty Molly come back as the third entrant into this, and I absolutely love this. I just felt like it was so nostalgic to have Mighty Molly come in, and especially because it was one of my favorite character arcs that Molly Holly had, especially during the Attitude Era, where you didn't have a lot of women pulling off these comedic but still like daring characters that were really brave, obviously really fit into that superhero narrative of having like these upstanding morals and just being someone that the fans will really want as their heroes. And especially with someone like Molly, who was all about the wrestling, but also was really into creating solid characters. I loved the Mighty Molly gimmick. So it was so cool to see that character be brought back for this Rumble. I totally loved it. I really forgot during this Royal Rumble that Mercedes Martinez was in it, and I loved going back to see that even if Mercedes's NXT run wasn't obviously what we all would have wanted, that she at least could mark this, that she was actually in a Royal Rumble and had such a great showing, just like she did in the Mae Young Classic. So I was happy to see that that was something that she accomplished in this company. And we have Dakota Kai come into the Rumble after she attacked Tegan Nox in NXT in one of the best War Game matches, in my opinion. So I just love how we have this new aggressive Dakota Kai come into this Rumble and really take it to a lot of the women. We see Chelsea Green make her Royal Rumble appearance, and that was really awesome because we know that Chelsea worked so hard to get to the point that she can be in WWE. The only thing that I felt that they could have done with Chelsea is keep her in longer and really have her have some more interaction with the women, because she came in so hot into the match, already being dominant, and then you have like 1 minute later she's literally thrown out. I think that they could have done a lot more with Chelsea and really utilized her in this Rumble, but at least we're able to have where Chelsea was a part of it. We have Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair face off in the middle of the Rumble, which was really fantastic because it gave us a preview into what Bianca would do once she got on the main roster. And if you're gonna go toe to toe with Charlotte Flair and really look good in that interaction, then you know that you're gonna have it made coming onto the main roster. So just a great showing for Bianca in this Royal Rumble. Then we have one of the moments, just like I was stating in some of the other Royal Rumble matches, where literally when you think about certain years, there's usually one thing that really pops into your head because it was such a big moment. And for this one in 2020, it was Naomi returning after being injured. So this was just really cool to see how excited the fans truly were about seeing Naomi return. And then literally a few hours after, even going into the next day, into the next week, we saw how this appearance from Naomi, this return, really made the internet go crazy. And even outside of the wrestling bubble. So that was really cool. The crowd was pumped. Naomi looked amazing. And this was just, to me, probably one of the best moments that Naomi had in WWE. So it was just really cool to see. We have Beth Phoenix make her return to the Rumble after taking a break from in-ring action to commentate on NXT, which I thought was a really good move for her. And I guess she just wanted to get back in on the action, and she certainly did not skip a beat. We have during this time when Bianca and Beth Phoenix are fighting, Beth hits her head on the turnbuckle and just keeps going. And it just really goes to show that toughness that Beth has. And you can visibly see as you go back, as soon as Beth hits her head, that Bianca goes in protection mode, and she's asking her more than likely, is she okay? And they continue to go on. So Beth is certainly a trooper, because in the grand scheme of things, when you continue to watch the rest, Beth has a while that she's still in there. It's not like she was eliminated shortly after that. She still had a while to last in the match. So kudos to Beth for that. We have Toni Storm come in as the 20th entrant, and I absolutely love Toni Storm's character development in AEW. But I must say, with this appearance that Toni Storm had, I was really excited to see and relive her rock star gimmick. That was really cool. And I loved when she was able to have those moments to really showcase herself at that time, what she could do in the ring. So it was really cool seeing that Toni Storm and reliving that time of Toni Storm's time in WWE. We have Kelly make a return to the Royal Rumble and coming in at 21, and Naomi had that time to interact with Kelly and to be active in the ring with her. So I'm pretty sure that was a highlight for Naomi. I have to highlight once again how freaking tough Beth Phoenix was to continue on with this match. You see right here, I mean, there's so many shots of her just like bleeding out during this match from the back of her head. And there are even times where you kind of see that the refs have to check on her, because even though Beth is still going strong and really holding her own, there's moments where it looks like she might be a little dizzy, that she might either take a breather or just honestly get out of the match, but she continues to go on. And that was just extremely impressive. We have Naomi continue the tradition of creating dare-defying feats to get back into the ring after being thrown out, but then every single time Naomi gets eliminated shortly after. And just like with Kofi, that's always my gripe with it, where I love how creative they are when getting back in the ring, but it always just makes me sad that it's just used as a tool to get the crowd hyped for a bit, but they never get an honest opportunity to actually win the Rumble. But we have another comedic moment for this year's Royal Rumble where we have Satina Morella actually come back and have a moment with Beth Phoenix. And we know their history together. So it just immediately had me cackling seeing Santita Barella come down and get in the face of Beth as if she's supposed to be excited to see her again. And it was just a hilarious moment. It really gave us a time. And I think speaking for the wrestlers to have time to recover, it gave Beth a moment to recover and kind of gain her bearings again, while also trying to make sure that she was not laughing, because you could see between Natalia and Beth Phoenix, they were totally trying to hold in their laugh with interacting with Santita Varela. And it was just a funny moment and really helped to lighten the mood and to get everyone back that energy that they needed, including the wrestlers. We have Shayna Baszler come in as the last entrant, and she came in strong, eliminating several women, which was the norm for Shayna during this year. She just had a very dominant year in 2020. And at the end of this match, we are left with Shayna Baszler and Charlotte. And Charlotte ultimately has the ticket to go to WrestleMania. She wins, and she was off to Tampa Bay to have a really solid match. So I think with this year, it's the same thing that I would applaud the 2019 Royal Rumble for being, which is that even when there was a bit of nostalgia with Marty Molly coming in, with Beth Phoenix coming in with Kelly, it still stuck to really showcasing the strong women's rosters that you had, and it definitely did that. And I definitely think it was a good idea to have Charlotte win that year. So another solid Royal Rumble match. Now, this 2021 Royal Rumble was just like many pay-per-views, even outside of WWE, was just so unique because we were in the just in the deep of the pandemic. So this was WWE's Thunderdome era, and we had the Royal Rumble take place at this time. And I feel like during this time of the Royal Rumble, WWE was really working hard to still create an atmosphere where you felt like you had fan interaction, where we had the screens that had different fans that decided to tune in and have their faces shown and their reactions to certain moments to be seen in real time. So that added an element with a time that no one could control, that you could not have a live audience. We had Naomi and Bayley start off this Rumble, and Bayley was deep into her heel phase at this time, and it was really cool. We have Bianca and Naomi's in-ring action with each other, and it was just phenomenal. Just freak athletes coming together again. For one of the first times, if I'm not correct, that they were actually able to interact with each other. And it was just solid work from both Bianca and Naomi in this start of the match. We have Billie Kay come in early again into the Rumble, and she once again will not get into the ring immediately. She's trying to find a woman that would want to actually tag and partner with her during this match, and is not meeting much luck as she's trying early on. We have Shotzi let her come in with the tank, and I thought that that was really fitting for this, because with the advent of not having fans there, you needed something that gave this pay-per-view a big feel to it, to make it feel big time. And I think that Shotzi coming in with that energy and the tank just really played to that. So that was a really cool spot. We have the return of Jillian Hall as she comes in at number 8, and Billie Kay cannot contain her excitement the moment that she hears Jillian Hall singing with just a voice that only a mother could love. And you immediately see Billy go to the entrance ramp and campaign for them to team up. And Jillian is surprisingly thrilled at this and actually wants to have a moment where they're working together, conspiring together to actually succeed in this Royal Rumble. So that was just a really funny spot. And I love that they actually made this happen with Jillian coming back and just having like a fun moment with Billy Kay. That was pretty cool. We have another great surprise coming into this Rumble, and that is the return of Victoria at number 10. She was definitely someone that I was hoping was going to be in the 2018 Rumble, then the 2019 Rumble. I was hoping for it. I kept hoping each year that she would. So for her to actually make an appearance in this was freaking amazing. I totally flipped out, as a lot of other people did. Victoria is definitely one of my favorites whenever I think of one of my favorite female wrestlers. The only thing, and I don't know if other people felt this way too, my only gripe was that I was with such a return like this of Victoria. I wish that it could have been one of the years when they actually had a live audience, because that pop as soon as you heard her song would have been so wicked that I really wish that she would have gotten the opportunity. But even when you saw Victoria's reaction afterwards when she was interviewed, she was just so happy to be back and to get that interaction and love from the fans. And kudos to the fans, because during the time of the pandemic, many times social media helped you to get real-time reactions to things. And Victoria certainly got that with her appearance. So this was just a really cool moment. We have Santana Garrett come in as the 12th entrant. And I was really happy about this because Santana has really always been one of my favorites, like in the 2000s and then the mid to late 2000s on the indie scene. And she had a very strong showing in the Mae Young Classic. So to see Santana Garrett be able to check off being in a Royal Rumble off of her list of probably things that she wanted to do in the industry, that's pretty cool that she got that opportunity. We have Rhea Ripley come in at 14, and she just wrecked shop. I mean, this was really showing already, giving us a preview for the next few years with how dominant Rhea was going to be when she's in a Royal Rumble. We have Tori Wilson make her second Royal Rumble appearance, and this was even stronger than the last one. So that was really good to see that. We have a very surprising, not entrant, but we have someone that comes out, and that is Ric Flair. He makes an appearance to introduce Lacey Evans, as Lacey was deep into a feud with Charlotte, and Lacey is quickly eliminated as she comes out trying to don one of Charlotte Flair's robes, and that just sends Charlotte over the edge. She is just done dealing with this chick, and Charlotte makes sure that she goes under the ropes to go out of the ring to beat the crap out of Lacey at ringside. And that was just really funny and a really aggressive, funny, comedic time and slot in this Royal Rumble. So I thought that was pretty cool. Naomi is able to get a good amount of time in the Rumble. I think so far, one of the longest amounts of time that she's been in the Rumble over the past few years. So that was nice that they were giving her a good amount of time. And we have another surprising appearance, and we have that from R-Truth, who comes out with the 24/7 title and tries to avoid having his title taken away. But Alicia Fox pins him to get the title, but then R-Truth wins it back a few minutes later, and it's just pure craziness in the Rumble at this point with the interaction between R-Truth and Alicia Fox. Just a nice comedic time to get the energy back from the fans and the women that are in this match. And we have Naomi and Bianca work together toward the end of the match, which was really interesting. We have the twisted and demented Alexa Bliss into the Rumble. And this was such a really good time in Alexa's career. So it was really cool to look back and see that and, relive that. We have at this time, around this time, where not Alexa Bliss, Ember Moon comes into the match and really has a strong showing. And she really made an impact in the Rumble because we need those moments. We have someone that could pretty much bulldoze through a lot of women and to kind of eliminate some of that traffic. So it was really cool seeing Ember Moon have that because she's obviously one of the strongest women physically on the roster. So it was really cool that she was being used for that. And we have Tamina and Nia Jax going after each other, which was really cool to see that that interaction between Tamina and Nia Jax. And we have Lana getting revenge and eliminating Nia Jax, which I don't think that anyone would have guessed that Lana would have been able to get that sweet revenge, but she was. So we have Rhea Ripley and Bianca working together to eliminate Charlotte towards the end, and they were effective in this. And you see Bianca just mocking Charlotte with having the woo chants and really just making her feel like crap. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious because you were getting those moments where Bianca many times can be petty, and really gloat over any win that she would receive. So I thought that was fun that they put that in there. And right after that, you see Rhea and Bianca know that they eliminated Bianca, okay? But now they both have to get back into the ring and figure out we're going to do this fair now. Like as they're telling each other that we're going to make this fair, but one of us obviously has to come out on top. And I just love that moment that you have with Bianca and Rhea where they're sizing each other up, but trying to make it fair that both of them can re-enter the ring, and then it's on. And we have Bianca and Rhea really fighting gravity to avoid being eliminated as they're holding on to the ropes. But ultimately, in this Rumble, we have Bianca win. After entering this match at number 3, and if I'm correct, I believe that Bianca actually lasted 56 minutes, which is absolutely amazing. This was a very solid Royal Rumble. With the odds stacked against them, even though the WWE wrestlers had started to get used to not having a crowd, the Royal Rumble, especially with having the different entries and needing that pop from the crowd, that's very hard to really feel like you can be in that moment as a wrestler and not have a crowd. And I think that they did a fantastic job in Bianca. It was definitely Bianca's time at this time to get this opportunity to go to WrestleMania. And I love when you see that genuine excitement from Bianca, where she's gotten to this point in her career where she knows that she can head to WrestleMania and be a major player on the women's roster at this time. So this was just awesome to see. And now we're going to kind of go into the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble. And we have an audience again. So you can feel that excitement from the crowd. I'm pretty sure the wrestlers were so excited to have that interaction with the fans again, to feel that, especially in a match like this, where you absolutely need to feel in real time how these fans are taking to everything that's being done. And we start off this match with Sasha Banks and Melina, and I was hyped. Sasha Banks came out dressed as Sailor Moon themed attire, and honestly, this is one of my favorite outfits of hers from her time in WWE. And Melina came out and she really treated us to her amazing entrance, and everyone was just going off. It was really one of the best openings for a Royal Rumble match. I really can't stress enough how I thought that was great, that whoever thought of pairing Sasha Banks with Melina, kudos, like great job. We have Melina look like $1,000,000. Now, this is one where I wanted to fight someone because you let Melina come out and make this amazing entrance, have the crowd just eating out of her hand. We see Melina and Sasha Banks standing toe to toe. And what do? You eliminate Melina right away. I just don't understand why. I feel like Melina could have really stayed longer in this match. I don't understand why they thought it was a good idea to eliminate her. And I love how the fans made sure that they articulated my sentiment of the fans that were there in person, because you can just see the sadness that we all had, like immediately the sound of the fans when they saw that Melina was eliminated. I personally feel that Sasha and Melina could have had like 5 solid minutes where they were fighting. And then, well, okay, obviously it couldn't have been 5 minutes because someone else would have came in, but let them have their moment. Let someone else come out. Maybe let Melina take a moment, and then let her interact with a lot of the other women on the roster. And then maybe towards the middle, you could have eliminated Melina. But it is one of those disappointments that I feel from any of the Rumble matches that they had. I cannot co-sign that call because I feel like Melina should have been able to stay in the match longer. But the heelish part of me absolutely loves Sasha Banks just being petty and doing the Melina split in the ring as she sees just a distraught Melina on the side of the ring as she cannot believe that she is eliminated. As much as I hated that elimination, it was just one of the most perfect Sasha Banks reactions to completely destroying someone's world and making sure that they couldn't stay in the Rumble. So kudos to Sasha, because Sasha came in here hot, making sure that she was going to be just the heelish of heelish people in this match. And Sasha Banks is on a roll. She continues to dominate pretty much in the beginning portion of this Rumble. And we have Bianca Belair come in. Of course, she brings in that powerhouse style that we know and love from her. We have Sonya Deville come out, and she decides instead of getting in the ring, she's going to go to the commentary booth. And she really abuses her power, as she was the assistant to Adam Pearce at the time, and really tries to make sure that she's only getting in when she feels like it and can really take advantage of everyone else tiring out, and then she would head in. And we have Michelle McCool make another Royal Rumble appearance, coming in at number 10. We have a very surprising entrant. We have Cameron come back, who was known for being in the Fuckadactyls with Naomi. So I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting that. It looked like Cameron was very happy to be back, and she came in at number 13. And immediately when she gets in the ring, that's all of a sudden when Sonya Deville wants to come into the ring, and she commences to beat up Cameron and eliminate Cameron very early on. And you can see that Cameron was just absolutely distraught that she was eliminated so early. And we know at this time that Sonya Deville and Naomi were in a very heated feud. So Cameron was just that sacrificial lamb that was used to get Naomi pissed off. And it worked, because right after that, Naomi comes out and she immediately goes for Sonya Deville. But as a good friend would, she makes sure that she checks in on Cameron to make sure she's all right. And and that was a really good spot. I like how they were playing on that feud with Sonya Deville and Naomi. We have Rhea Ripley come in at 16. Once again, having another great Royal Rumble. Charlotte comes in, but as the SmackDown champion, which was unheard of before this year for a champion to be in the Women's Royal Rumble. But this was really smart on Charlotte's end, because if she was to win, she would be able to pick her opponent at WrestleMania. So it would have given the champion the luxury of being able to pick whoever she wanted to at that point. I thought that was really a really cool twist on the Rumble. And we have another very surprising entrant in this part of the Rumble, and that is Ivory. But not just Ivory, the right to censor Ivory, which is really cool, because as much as we love the character of Ivory that was always in his gorgeous purple and always carried around the scarf and had a vivacious personality, that right to censor Ivory will always be mentioned for the hilarious moments that happened when she was in that faction. So I love that Ivory played on that and made it clear that that's how she wanted to come back. Once again, once again, I have to go to this. My only gripe is certain women that were making these awesome comebacks were eliminated so early. Ivory came in, who could I feel, especially how she was like $1 million, could hang with these wrestlers, these present day wrestlers, but we don't see her fight at all. She literally just comes out, has the mic. She kind of has an interaction with Rhea Ripley, but they never fight, and Rhea just eliminates her. I did not understand why they would do that with someone like Ivory, who could have really had a solid maybe like 20 minutes in the ring, taking on different women from the present day roster. I don't get it, but that was another gripe of mine. I feel like Ivory really could have had a really good comeback with interacting with these women. But, you know, things can be perfect, but I love that Ivory came back with her right to censor gear and gave us a really funny moment. We have Brie Bella come in at 19 to the delight of the crowd, making another successful return. Once again, when we think about certain rumbles, there are things that just immediately pop into our heads as epic moments. And that certainly happened this year with Mickie James coming back. And not only coming back, but coming back in such a shocking way, because it just felt like it was a parallel universe. When you have Mickie James come in, as you can see, as she's standing in this shot, it says Impact Women's Champion, and she has that championship on her waist. And the crowd just completely became unglued when they heard that hardcore country music playing. And this was truly unbelievable and surreal to have an active TNA wrestler in a WWE ring. And I think that I don't know if there could ever be like another huge highlight in Mickie James' career like this was. I mean, this was like the ultimate haha moment for Mickie to leave WWE, really just have an amazing run and impact. So much so that other people were applauding how well she was doing, have the NWA Empowered pay-per-view that really showcased women so well that everyone was talking about it in the business. So much so that WWE knew that it would be a smart move to have Mickie James come back with the Impact Women's title. How many people can say that they had such a great run in another company that it actually piqued the interest of WWE, that they would like to see you actually come into their Royal Rumble and really have a great showing? I mean, that I don't think people point that out enough, that Mickie James was able to do that. This was a huge moment, and to me, one of the biggest moments for anyone to have coming into a Royal Rumble. Just fantastic, and so great for Mickie because of how she really sees that it's important to uplift every roster that you have in wrestling. Because when you have everyone on their A game, you can have moments like this where you can have people that are TNA wrestling fans, people that are WWE fans, and they can still enjoy seeing someone from another promotion and really just want to see them interact and have these dream matches with someone from another promotion. It was just perfect. So I cannot speak highly enough about how I thought this was a really great move on WWE to show that they were down to have women from other rosters come in and come to play and really want to be a part of something like the Royal Rumble. And I love that Mickie James was able to eliminate Michelle McCool, because I think that it helped to put like a nice tight bow on that feud that Mickie and Michelle McCool had during the Divas era, where you had Lay Cool really bullying Mickie James. And I love that she was able to have that revenge moment of eliminating Michelle McCool. Now, I don't know if that's why they did it, but it just seems coincidental. So I thought that that was really cool. We have Summer Rae make a comeback, and she immediately goes for Natalya, and but she is eliminated by Natalya with the assistance of Charlotte, who would not let Summer Rae get the spotlight in this match. So I thought that was really cool that they let Summer Rae have that moment, because a lot of people were fans of Summer Rae, myself included. So it was nice to see her come back and get that really cool moment where the fans were very much here for seeing her have that stand down with Natalya. So that was cool. You can't have Brie Bella come in and not have Nikki. Nikki Bella comes in at 24, and the twins work together to eliminate as many women as possible, because we gotta get these ladies out as we're getting closer to the end of the match. We have Lita come back at 26, and she has a really cool spot with Mickie James. She's actually the one that eliminates Mickie James. Even though Mickie James was eliminated, she has such a strong showing. I honestly think, even though I'm happy that Mickie was able to be in the match, just the reaction that Mickie received from bringing in that title would have just been enough for her to have a strong Royal Rumble showing. But I loved her time in the match. It really was well done. We have Mighty Molly come back, and this did not sit well with Nikki ASH. She would not have any of it. She wanted to be the only superhero in this match, and she took it to Mighty Molly, not even letting Mighty Molly get in the ring. She is just destroying her, throwing her into the stairs, just beating her down. And you just see this mean streak from Nikki ASH, and it was just hilarious. But obviously everyone felt bad for Mighty Molly. I just thought it was hilarious that you would literally have this rivalry between superheroes during this match. It was just a funny spot. And we have Ronda Rousey return, and she comes in as the 23rd entrant, and it really got a huge pop from the crowd. Really wanted to see her be a part of this Rumble. And the person that had the best spot in the Rumble was actually Shayna Baszler, as she comes in at 30. And you can see Ronda is immediately ecstatic to have her friend in this match to help to bring these numbers down. And at the end, we're actually left with Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. The only thing I was surprised by was how quickly this match ended, with Ronda just throwing Charlotte over. I was surprised by that. I was expecting more of an interaction with Charlotte. And because Charlotte is Charlotte Flair, I was not expecting them to just really have her eliminated that quickly. But Ronda was able to cash in that ticket to go to WrestleMania that year. And even though it was an abrupt elimination of Charlotte, I think that Charlotte had an amazing showing in this Royal Rumble. Not surprising, she was able to last a long time in this match. So I don't really think there's any regrets there. And I like how they're making sure that they were mixing it up with who was going to win the Rumble each year, and not constantly having the same person, because that just wears down on the anticipation of who would actually win. So that was really cool to see that. Now we're going to get into last year's Royal Rumble, the 2023 Royal Rumble. And we have, starting off, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. And we have Rhea at number 1 coming in. And of course, with the year that Rhea had last year, she was a fan favorite to win this Rumble. I must give kudos to Liv Morgan, who really stood toe-to-toe with Rhea and was trying to take it to her, which is not easy with a powerhouse like Rhea. They really started off this Rumble strong and was really tearing it up. We have women like Dana Brooke, Emma, Bailey, and Shayna Baszler that really wanted to get that WrestleMania moment. So it was really cool seeing how everyone just had that passion to want to go to WrestleMania. And we have Roxanne Perez come into this match as the NXT champion and have a really strong showing. Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, and Bayley work together really well throughout this bout to help take out the competition. And you're seeing some of like the earlier stages of Damage Control, which was really good. So it just goes to show how strong the faction of Damage Control is, to see like the evolution of it over a year. We have Xia Li come out, and she really takes advantage of the fatigue of the wrestlers in the middle of this match, like Rhea Ripley, and she really comes in fiery and deadly. I really wish sometimes they would utilize Xia Li better, because when she has these appearances in the Royal Rumble, it is very cool to see. I'm just hoping maybe over this year they can really have something stick with her character. One of the best surprises of this 2023 Royal Rumble, in my opinion, was seeing Asuka return. I know I was absolutely thrilled to see Asuka be a part of this Royal Rumble. I loved how she changed up her look coming into this year, and everyone was just so excited to see her come in at number 17. The crowd just went absolutely nuts, and I love how they really gave the fans a moment to absorb the fact that Asuka was back. That was just a really, really cool spot. Then right after that, we don't even have time to recover, because we have Piper Niven return as she comes in at 18. But the reason why this was so awesome is because we got rid of the Dewdrop name and really had Piper come in as the major force that she is, and really build up the attention of the audience again, with coming in the middle of this match very strong and very dominant, just really like a cannonball in this spot. So you had Asuka and Piper Niven really help to bring up the energy in the middle of this match, which was just awesome. We have Michelle McCool come back again, and I love how they did it this year. Well, we're thinking that Michelle McCool is just going to stay ringside with her girls, but she actually gets put into the Royal Rumble. And I like how she looks like she's just surprised, but she just goes with it as she sees her music play. She still has on her Uggs. She just has on really comfortable loungewear on as she comes into this match in her sweats. And I thought it was a nice switcheroo for the fans to see Michelle McCool come in after we were just really thinking that she was going to be at ringside. And she really, to me, actually probably had one of her strongest showings in the Rumble last year. We have Raquel Rodriguez come into the Rumble with Eddie Guerrero inspired gear, and she was very determined to win this Rumble. I thought that she had a really great showing as well in this. And one other woman that I thought had a really great showing that I don't think is mentioned enough was Indy Hartwell. I think that she did a really great job of showcasing what the women of NXT can do. She stayed in for a good amount of time, and she looked equally matched with the women from Raw and SmackDown. So I definitely wanted to make sure I highlighted that, because it was a really great look for Indy. We have Nia Jax make a surprising return to the Royal Rumble. And I absolutely loved how half of the crowd was absolutely pissed that she was back. And then you have the other ones that were actually excited to see Nia come back. And I equally love how Nia just didn't care whether you were excited to see her come back or not. So I thought that that was really a cool moment, and something that people always continue to think about when they think about last year's Royal Rumble. A freaking incredible moment of last year was when Rhea Ripley scooped up Nia Jax and executed the Riptide finisher on her. I think the reason why it was also impressive is because at that point, Rhea had been in the ring for so long. So for her to be able to pull that off damn near towards the end of the match was really amazing. And it just goes to show how incredible Rhea Ripley is. And then we have every woman making sure that they came together collectively off of the orders of Rhea Ripley to eliminate Nia Jax. And I just love the group effort to come together for something as great as eliminating Nia Jax. Just a cool moment. And then we have Liv Morgan, Asuka, and Rhea in the ring together as the last three. Asuka gets eliminated, but Liv almost gets Rhea out, but Rhea holds onto the ropes and gets Liv out to win the Royal Rumble. And I just absolutely love the look on Rhea's face when she wins, as she's biting on the rope to make it clear there was just no question that she was actually going to win this Rumble. And just such an amazing feat from Rhea Ripley, just like we saw that endurance that Bianca Belair had when she was in for 56 minutes. In this Rumble, Rhea Ripley was able to beat that record with being in the ring for 1 hour and not skipping a beat. And just like I was saying, pulling off amazing feats even in the middle of the match that I don't think that most women could be able to do, even if they were only in the ring for 5 minutes. So this was just one of the best showings of Rhea Ripley's endurance, and she certainly deserved to win the Royal Rumble this year. And I just love the glee that Rhea Ripley had with pointing to that WrestleMania sign. And as we know, Rhea had a strong showing at WrestleMania of 2023. So it was just such a strong year for Rhea. It never really stopped. I mean, she's still so much on a roll that it's very impressive to see. So who knows what happened this year with Rhea? Who knows how successful she could be. But we have so many awesome women that are going to be entering into the Royal Rumble for the first time this year. Who knows who might return? So there's a lot of promise with each year that goes by that we have a Royal Rumble. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this deep dive into the past 6 years of us having a 30 women Royal Rumble match. I just want to say thank you for the birthday wishes, and I did have an amazing birthday. Thank you. Couldn't ask for more, but I really hope that you enjoyed going down memory lane, thinking about some things that really help to encourage you to get excited about this year's Royal Rumble. I think, and we're probably going to be saying this every year for the next few years, that I really think that there's going to be a lot of topping of what happened last year and a lot of surprises possibly. I think probably one of the funniest things to me would be if the surprise is that what we really see from the women that will be coming into the Rumble is that there won't be a lot of surprise interest, and it would just be a strong Rumble, which can very well happen because we are hearing so many names being thrown around that honestly we don't know what will happen in this Royal Rumble. But one thing that is for sure is that we know the women are going to bring it. And as I end off this episode of Deep Dive, I guess I can just go through a few names that, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have in my head of who I would like to see return. And on the top of that list would probably be AJ Lee. It's not like they're really hiding that there's a strong possibility that she would be in the Rumble, even though they can always surprise us and not have AJ Lee return, but I think it's pretty strong. I would love to see, even though this is really on the dream list, I cannot see this actually happening, but having Jazz return. She never got that moment to come back during this time in women's wrestling to at least have just like a few minutes in a Royal Rumble ring with this generation's wrestlers. And I would just love to see that, but it's probably just going to remain a dream in my head. I would love to see Jade Cargill make an appearance at the Royal Rumble because I think with this build up, and also the good thing about when you have someone that's still training and really trying to hone in on how strong they're going to be as competitors later on is that you can really play on a Royal Rumble being a great first appearance for that, because you can have where she just has some great stare-offs with a few women, obviously Bianca Belair being one of them, and just has some cool spots, but not necessarily like a 30-minute or 40-minute match. So I would love to see Jade have that moment to really get that huge pop during a Rumble. I would love to see Blair Davenport be a part of this Rumble, because she has really been killing it in NXT. And I think that she could be someone that can really last throughout the Royal Rumble as one of the workhorses in the ring. I would love to see Tiffany Stratton, because I personally think that she should be holding the NXT Women's title with the type of year that she had in 2023. So I would love to see her get that vindication with actually being able to represent NXT, the NXT Women's division. And the last one, this could happen, but I'm not going to get like my hopes up for it. I would love to see Mandy Rose come back, because I think that she deserves vindication. I think that she should be able to be back on a WWE show, because she was a phenomenal champ, and I think that she would do brilliantly, as she has had experience in Royal Rumble matches. But I think that she definitely deserves vindication for what happened, how she left the company. I think that she deserves that. So we'll see if any of my predictions or just hopes of who I'd want to see from the women actually comes true. We'll see. But one thing, like I said, is for sure, is that we're in for a treat with this 2024 Royal Rumble from both the men and the women. So I truly can't wait to see the aftermath of this pay-per-view, and I truly hope you enjoy it. I would encourage you to go down memory lane too as we continue to get closer to the Royal Rumble. I truly hope that you enjoyed this episode, and maybe it has piqued your interest to go back and look at some great memories so far from the many years, or the very few years, because still very early in WWE's history that we have had the 30 Women's Royal Rumble matches. But I encourage you to look back. I just encourage you to get into this Royal Rumble feeling. It's a very festive, fun time of the year. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you look forward to seeing the next deep dive episode. Until next time, bye.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.